sacrilegious or like blatantly. For those who may not know what takes place.
Yeah. Honestly, to be able to be in a organization that, to me, it demeans anybody by putting their hands on someone and to break them down for the sake of making them into something else when you don't know the means to make me, because you're not my creator, and obviously you're not, aligned in that sense, and bringing up my pain and issues of who you think, the bad parts about you. Like, if I looked at you and said, this is what's wrong with you, and I let them come to the surface, but I didn't tell you how to deal with it.
Wow.
So basically making shame my portion.
Wow.
And that's not what my God would do at all, at any point in time.
Yeah.
So it was in those little things, but you get down to rituals. Rituals. Like, at the end of the day.
Rituals that were glorifying God, just to be clear? I'm asking.
No.
Who were these rituals glorifying?
They were glorifying the organization.
Okay.
What the organization was about. And, there's also the shield, what's sitting on the throne of the shield. Like, but it was all kind of situated in a way where you are going through this process not really thinking about it, because it's two things going on at once. You are being mentally and emotionally and physically challenged in one space, and then you go into a classroom to learn the information, but the information is not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about going back out and running errands and do whatever you need to do.
Wow.
That's what you're thinking about. Mm-hmm. So you're not even paying attention to what you're actually reading or learning. Wow. And then I think a big part for me was I actually, and in every initiation I have ever been in, there's always an altar set. And that altar, we got on our knees in front of the altar, put our hands over our heart, and pledged our lives to this organization. And
is this organization a part of the Divine Nine?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we pledged our life to it. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, you're not really you're not thinking about it. Mm-hmm. But as, the pieces began to be pulled away, and I kind of, it's the one thing that dropped my heart to the floor, and I came in covenant. I came into covenant with something that I didn't fully understand and that I didn't fully grasp. Forget if it didn't mean that to me. That's what it was grounded on. That's the basis of it. And how can two walk together unless they agree?
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So what was that breaking point, Leah? What was that moment where you were just like, or do you feel like it just was gradual? Or was there something that you said, I can't do this?
Yeah. So I had moved away from home, and it seemed like this organization still had a hold on me. Like, no matter what I would try to do, I would remove myself completely. But it would be it was like it was taunting me. Like, something was just like, yeah, no, come back, you gotta be involved in this. And it wasn't, my experience was not friendly. In my opinion, there's a false sense of sisterhood. Because most of them don't like each other, can't stand each other, because we don't really know each other. Just because you go through something physical with someone doesn't mean you know them spiritually, nor emotionally on another level. So that for me was like, why does this keep pulling me back and it's doing nothing for me? And then I caught it, y'all. I caught it when I realized that I couldn't walk away from it. Wow. Here I was after crossing, knowing that I shouldn't be in this organization, and I stayed in it. And over this gradual time period, I'm like, why can't I walk away from this? Why can I not let this go? It's because it's a stronghold. I tell myself I work so hard for it. Well, I work so hard to get through mental illness. That doesn't mean I'm going to hold on to it.
That's good. That's so good.
So I then was like, God, what do you want me to do with this? And he said, lay your idols down. He said, lay your idols down. And I had to then make the decision. Yes, it was a choice. My God or their God.
And truly, there is a God that they serve.
Yeah, Minerva.
Right.
They say we don't serve Minerva, but she come up too many times. So it come up too many times for you to be like, nah, we don't really mess with her though. She just there. Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
So it was an idol, and a lot of people fight between that. Oh, there's a thin line between it and idolization. Like, no, that's exactly what it is. Anybody to me that feels like when I go into a room that I need to have, decals, labels, all of these things, paraphernalia that scream that I'm a part of this organization, yet no one knows I'm a child of God. To me, that is like, I encountered someone who I could just feel it. Like they walked in a room and randomly out of nowhere started, doing a little stroll or something. It's because they wanted me to know that they were a part of a particular organization.
That status is more important than their status as a Christian.
And that's what it was saying. And, I'm also not that person that says, because God gave me the revelation that, I demonize those who are still there, still going through it. But it kind of makes you think and kind of makes you wonder, especially when I see people who are in leadership roles who should be more spiritually mature. Have this not crossed your mind? Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but it makes me think about, like, has this crossed your mind? Because, man, I don't know.
Do you think maybe, that was something that they did in the past, and so now what they do is not necessarily, they feel that it's not directly connected to all of the stuff, the foolishness that they may have been involved in their younger days, and now they're, they don't feel the need to renounce it because they're not practicing the same things that directly went against. What do you feel about people that still, like, what is your... If
you're not practicing it, then what are you doing? Like, what is it holding? What space is it taking up? If you're not utilizing it, we got to throw away childish things. So if that's something you did in your past, you can throw that away. I'm not, there's people who are very involved in doing, great things for the community, great things for, and these things are amazing. But I think when it comes down to that piece, of idolatry and different things, like, I believe most people write it off because it's an acceptance thing.
Wow.
I think it's a social acceptance thing.
It's even socially accepted in the church.
Yeah.
Particularly the black church.
The black church. It's kind of wiggled its way right up in there. Yeah.
And it's not talked about, those, those altars, those false gods, those, pledging, crossing our heart, kneeling at the altar, all those things just kind of skipped over for the sake of serving the community.
Yeah, like you can't serve the community in any other aspect.
Right, yeah.
So with that, because I know people who aren't heavily involved anymore, but still, hold on to that. Maybe they feel like they're cherishing memories, or I can't really explain it. I know for me, there's memories that I'll never forget, and so maybe they're trying to hold on to some memories, and that's why they're still. Oh yeah, I pledged, and they did have a great time, and it's something they want to. But I hold on to the memories that I had that were good times. I do, and while I don't talk to everybody that is in my old organization, there are some relationships that have proven to be beyond this structure.
That's good. So speaking of those relationships, did you receive any backlash, persecution? What was that like once you